Good Wednesday morning, everybody, and welcome to DMS 3000 News Live. And I am Brandon Martin, your host for today, tomorrow, and on Friday. And of course, Jason will be back with us Monday and Tuesday of next week. But for right now, you'll get to see me, as mentioned, like I said earlier. On today's show, we will be talking about the roller coaster rider stuck upside down. That'll be at the 5:30 hour. Then at the 6 o'clock hour in the morning, we will be having the 47th anniversary of the Family Feud. And at the 6:30 hour, we'll wrap up with the do's and don'ts of hitting the multi-million-dollar jackpot. Plus, headlines, sports, and what day is today. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started for Wednesday, July 12th, 2023. A strike by UPS workers would likely mean package delays for consumers across the country, and it would shake up an increasingly competitive industry. President Joe Biden meets his Ukrainian counterpart. New inflation numbers are set to show easing inflation. A major Hollywood studios contract with the Actors Union is set to expire. Spending on back-to-school supplies is predicted to decline this year for the first time since 2014. With inflation top of mind, parents and teachers are looking for ways to save money. Depending on the outcome, it will either be viewed as genius or the dumbest political move in history. Political science professor Patricia Krause told NPR. The country's film regulator has decided that a map shown in the movie does not depict China's controversial 9-dash line, which is Barbie movie will show in the Philippines after all. Ray will field question from GOP Chairman Jim Jordan and other judiciary accused the agency of weaponizing its power for political reasons. Mikala Jones, a Hawaii surfer known for shooting awe-inspiring photos and videos from the inside of massive curling waves, has died after a surfing accident in Indonesia. He was 44. Disgraced Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes has sentence hasn't changed, but like all prisoners who follow the rules, she can qualify for early release under the federal government's good time guidelines. Iowa's Republican-led legislature passed a bill banning most abortions after roughly 6 weeks of pregnancy during a marathon session Tuesday, which is yesterday. Governor Kim Reynolds said she would sign the bill on Friday. Multiple handwritten wills were found in Franklin's home in 2019. Two of Franklin's sons would like a 2014 will to be honored and are up against their brother, who wanted to uphold a 2010 will. The Anthropocene Working Group is proposing a small but deep lake outside of Toronto, Canada, Crawford Lake, to place a historic marker. The move reverses, course on one of the Justice Department's most controversial decisions during the early stretch of the Biden administration. An investigation found that Bank of America raked in tens of millions of dollars and resubmitted insufficient funds fees. The bank also illegally opened credit cards without customers' knowledge. PGA Tour leaders argued a deal would allow expensive legal fights and fracturing player and fan base to end. But lawmakers cautioned against too much involvement with the Saudi government. Throughout her career, Mosley, which is Tanya Mosley, has often been one of the few black journalists in the newsroom. She recently reported firsthand on the use of psilocybin to heal racial trauma. The National Weather Service says heavy rains across New England would subside Tuesday, but officials warn that flooding still presented a danger to residents. Human Rights Watch is calling for the International Criminal Court to investigate attacks the rights group says amount to war crimes in West Darfur. The Marine Corps' highest-ranking officer to a move from Senator Tom Tuberville, Republican of Alabama, who continues to block nominations to protest a Pentagon abortion policy. The works have earned Sotomayor $3.7 million since she joined the court in 2009. Her taxpayer-funded staffers have been deeply involved in organizing speaking engagements intent to sell books. An investigation was launched in December of last year, 2022, after Northwestern University received an anonymous complaint after hazing activities in the school's football program, which was Pat Fitzgerald. An excellent work of People First Journalism, Donovan X. Ramsey's book offers a vivid and frank history and highlights how communities tend to save themselves even as they're being targeted. Deaths from overdoses of xylazine laced fentanyl have surged. The White House drug czar says he's marshaling efforts on testing, tracking, treatment, and stopping the spread. And that is the headlines for Wednesday, July the 12th, 2023. And now we get to the MLB report. We got the All-Star game from last night. As we all know, the National League gives the first NL All-Star game win since 2012. My goodness, yeah, my word. In the 2023 season, rife with surprises, came an All-Star game result way out of left field, thanks to a blast way out to left field. An unlikely All-Star became an unlikely All-Star hero. And hello, Diggs, by the way. 7, good morning to you. Is an unusual All-Star result when Rockies catcher Elias Diaz, a first-time All-Star at age 32, took the O's Felix Bautista deep with a runner on second in the top of the 8th which is yesterday night. He gave the National League the go-ahead run in a 3-2 win at T-Mobile Park. The senior circuit's first victory on the Midsummer Classic stage since way back in 2012. It means a lot to me and my family, says Diaz, whose clutch clout made him the All-Star Game Most Valuable Player presented by Chevrolet. So proud of what I've been doing, what I've been able to accomplish. Being in an All-Star Game for me is amazing. The year has been defined thus by some unexpected surges up topsy-turvy standings, and so the NL's sudden All-Star success propelled by a career backup catcher fits right in. But it as unusual in this non-binding exhibition, the result was secondary to the showcase. For this was a night to gawk at great catches and clutch hits, to enjoy in-game interviews with mic'd-up stars, and to appreciate the Mariners' underappreciated facility and some sensational weather in a week in which the Emerald City defied its rainy reputation. Prior to the game, Mariners legends Ken Griffey Jr. and Edgar Martinez throughout the ceremonial first pitches to Dan Wilson and Jay Buhner. And the great Cal Ripken Jr., who played his final All-Star game in this building the last time it hosted the Midsummer Classic in 2001, made an in-game score appearance. Seattle's a beautiful city, said NL manager Rob Thompson. And MLB and the city of Seattle just did a fantastic job for this. A crowd of 47,159, of course, include many Mariners faithful who took the opportunity to initiate the free agent recruiting process with "Come to Seattle" chants when Shohei Ohtani came to the plate. Never experienced anything like that, said Ohtani through his interpreter, but I definitely heard it. And they were at their loudest when hometown hero Julio Rodriguez came to the plate against Craig Kimbrell. With 1 on and 2 out in the bottom of the ninth, J-Rod drew a walk, but Kimbrell was able to strike out the Guardians' Jose Ramirez to escape the jam. It was just unbelievable to have all the stars here and the energy that the fans brought. Like, it was unbelievable what they did, Rodriguez said. Seattle definitely showed out. The NL early efforts to end their rut were impeded by weather. In succession, to open the top of the first, Ronald Acuna Jr. and Freddie Freeman lofted long fly balls off Yankees ace Garrett Cole, only to watch Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena, respectively, corral them with leaping catches in front of the wall. Arozarena, of course, punctuated his with the famous Randy pose. The outfielders were on their game, for sure, Cole said. I gave them some tough chances, and they converted it. It's really fun when the ball is in the air, and you know you have all-star defenders. It was instead the AL that opened the scoring with first base Yandy Diaz, whose blossoming power has made him a pivotal piece of the Rays' rise to the top of the AL East, taking Mitch Keller deep on a second-inning solo shot. The ball traveled far, and so did Yandy. He's awaiting the birth of his first child, and that's led to some frantic flying. I got here at like 3 a.m., Diaz said. I got the airport at 2 p.m., My flight was delayed, and I didn't take off until about 7 p.m. And I got here like at 2 to 3 a.m. I woke up at 7. I got a good breakfast, and I made my way to the stadium. 7 a.m. is the C section. In case you were wondering, yes, this was the first time two players were the same last name, went deep in the same All-Star game. Viva the Diaz duo. Yeah, now even up went the human hit machine, Luis Arraez, whose foreigner chase is one of the season's best storylines. Did what he does best by smacking a single to right to score JD Martinez and make it 1-1. But Bo Bichette's 6-inning sacrifice fly gave the AL a 2-1 lead and a chance at pushing its winning streak to 10. It looked as though that would be the case, but Giants closer Camilo Doval kept the AL at bay by retiring Pacific Northwest product Adley Rutschman with a runner in scoring position to end the 7th. Then with Nick Castellanos aboard via a walk, Diaz scooped Bautista's 87 mile per hour splitter and locked it out to left. That the NL had a 3-2 lead, and Josh Hader and Kimbrel make it stand. Diaz was thrilled merely to be headed to the All-Star game. Now, the jersey he wore for his dramatic dinger is headed to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I think that's what this game and week was all about. Braves first baseman Matt Olson observed, guys deserve a chance to showcase what they can do. They've earned the right to be here. It might not necessarily be the guys you see on MLB Twitter and Instagram all the time. The quote-unquote faces of baseball, but everyone plays the game the same way. It's cool for someone like Diaz to do that. Thanks to the unlikely star among stars, the NL is finally off the schneid. Another surprise in the full season full of them. And yeah, that's basically it for the MLB report for the All-Star game from last night. And with that being said, we'll go ahead and take a first commercial break. It is 5:18 right now. And we will go over the what day is today. And we will do that right after this.
Rosie, baby, I'm going to prove to you that the hand is quicker than the eye.
Just keep your hands to yourself, Mac.
Oh, come on, Rosie. Watch me make this coin disappear. Ready? Now you see it. Now you don't. Oh.
Terrific, Max. Now watch Bounty make that spill disappear. Bounty starts quicker, so you finish quicker.
Hey, fast hands, Rosie.
Fast towel, Max.
Don't tell me only Bounty works that fast.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. Follow me. Just watch a top challenger try to beat Bounty.
Look how much quicker Bounty starts working.
I told you. Bounty starts quicker, so you finish quicker.
Amazing, Rosie.
Amazing Bounty. And it's strong, too. Park that sugar on here, Max.
Hey, Bounty sure carries its weight. And it makes spills disappear.
Like magic. Magic. That's Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Starts quicker, so you finish quicker.
Introducing the great new taste of Coca-Cola. The best tasting Coke in the history of ever. It's a hit. It's a Coke. Coke is it. It's Coca-Cola with a new taste, a new sensation, a new explosion of wonderfulness in your mouth. Go ahead, try it.
It's just how you feel when you know it's for real.
We've got the taste.
It's a kick. It's a hit. It's a Coke. Coke is it.
What happens when Duncan Hines packs real chocolate chunks in their moist, delicious brownies?
Most kids can't help but help themselves to our moist, delicious brownies, Duncan Hines. No way they can help but help themselves. themselves to our moist, delicious brownies, Duncan Hines.
Of the leading mixes, Duncan Hines is the smoothest, creamiest batter with real chocolate chunks for a moist, delicious brownie.
It's our moist, delicious way to bake your best.
You're the best.
Duncan Hines.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it. With Son of a Gun Protected from STP. If your dash looks dull, shoot it. Your seats are shot, shoot them. Your tires look flat, heck, shoot them too. Don't leave your roof a wreck. Give it some luster. Give your car high caliber protection. With Son of a Gun from STP. Son of a gun. What a difference.
Where's my NyQuil? This is some cough.
This is some cough.
If I take this, I could still be up tonight calling and I got to rest.
I got to rest.
Hey, you're really sick. You need children's NyQuil as much as I need grown-up NyQuil.
Vicks NyQuil and Children's NyQuil. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, stuffy heads for you and your child can rest medicines.
City News, Mr. Keebler. Can you tell us what your new sandwich cookies look like? No comment. Well, we hear they've got creamy fillings. No comment.
Keebler introduces new EL Fudge sandwich cookies. Buttery cookies with creamy fudge. Chocolatey cookies with peanut butter middles. And chocolatey cookies with vanilla cream.
We hear they're all delicious.
They are? Oh, were you talking to the cookie?
The cookie? No comment.
New EL Fudge sandwich cookies from Keebler.
Didn't wanna feel so gray, needed sunshine in my day. Tried new Citrus Hill Select, what a wonderful effect. Cause my day gets going and my juices get flowing. It's got everything you love in the fruit. You take one look, you see it show. You take one step, you feel that flow. Citrus Hill Select, gets your juices flowing.
What makes new Citrus Hill so select? Because from every orange we select, we take the purest, freshest part, the heart. It's a dose of sunshine that'll get your juices flowing.
Citrus Hill Select, gets your juices flowing. Citrus Hill Select, gets your juices flowing.
Fire!
It's not easy getting so much rich chocolate into a Three Musketeers bar. Fortunately, it's a lot easier to get all that incredible tasting chocolate out of it.
And we welcome you back to DMS 3000 News Live. Once again, I'm your host, Brendan Martin. And now we'll go ahead and go over the what day is today. And we have 16 of them that are listed for July 12th of 2023. And we'll go ahead and go over this right here, right now. Amazon Prime Day. The holiday, which is now celebrated annually, features incredible deals designed to rival those of Black Friday. Excuse me. National Simplicity Day. As Henry Thoreau said, as you simplify your life, the laws of the universe will be simpler. Battle of the Boyne. To commemorate the Battle of the Boyne, we take a journey down memory lane. Etch a Sketch Day. Etch a Sketch Day is the annual event that celebrates the retro toy Etch a Sketch. Kiribati National Day. We celebrate this island nation that had an unusual path to independence. Malala Day. Take those hats off and show some respect as we all celebrate Malala Day. Mexico Lawyers Day. Lawyers champion people's rights and make sure no one is above the law. National Different Colored Eyes Day. Heterochromia iridescence is a variation in color that gives a single organism two different colored eyes. National Eat Your Jello Day. Man, very much classic though. Jello is a classic dessert we all know and love. National Hair Creators Day. Hair creators and hairstyles mirror the trends of the times they live in. National Pecan Pie Day. We simply nutty over today's honoree. National Pecan Pie Day. National Tyler Day. If you are wondering about the name Tyler, we have all the information you need. New Conversations Day. Warm up your vocal cords as we get ready to make some conversation. Night of Nights. The Night of Nights carries on the tradition of maritime Morse communication. Orangeman's Day. Irish Protestants celebrate Orangeman's Day, also known as the 12th or Glorious 12th. And Paper Bag Day. Save the world one paper bag at a time. We'll show you how. And that's basically it for what day is today. Now it is 5:27. We get to the roller coaster rider stuck upside down for hours at Wisconsin Festival after mechanical failure. That was taking place last week. So we'll go ahead and get to talk about it right here and right now. That one's taking place at Crandon, Wisconsin. A thrilling day at the annual fair in Wisconsin turned into a nerve-wracking ordeal for several roller coaster riders after a mechanical failure left them stranded upside down for hours. According to the Crandon Fire Department, officials responded to the Crandon International Off-Road Raceway on Sunday due to a report of 8 passengers who were stuck on a carnival ride. The incident happened on the Fireball, a looping ride that takes thrill seekers upside down, according to local news outlet WAOW. After arriving on the scene and assessing the situation, the passengers were found stuck inside cars near the top of the loop, with the riders being held in an inverted position by safety harnesses on cars. The ride operator told the rescue team that the roller coaster had been inspected on site by the state of Wisconsin. The operator also advised that there was a mechanical failure, which the staff continued to attempt to work on to allow the ride to be brought down to a lower position to remove riders. Due to the height of the ride, specialized technical rescue teams and mutual aid equipment were needed to remove riders from the ride. Passengers had to wait for a ladder truck with a 100-foot platform to come from 45 minutes away, a press release noted. Brennan Cook, a captain and training officer at the fire department, told Fox television stations he has not been involved in a situation like this in his 17 years working in emergency services. It required critical thinking and planning, and the safest possible rescue of those involved was our top priority, Cook shared. All occupants reached the ground and were removed within 4 hours of getting stuck. A total of 9 people were treated by emergency medical services throughout the incident, and one person was transported by ambulance to the local hospital. Crandon Fire Chief Darrell Wilson Sr. and Crandon EMS Service Director Melinda Chaney would like to express their gratitude to all who assisted in this highly stressful and unique technical rescue situation. And the Crandon Fire Department and Crandon Area Rescue Squad said in a joint statement. It was basically that the story was reported from Los Angeles. And that will do for, and I mean, before we get into the weather, man, getting stuck upside down for at least 4 hours. Gosh, I mean, that would suck. I know suck is an understatement, but still, it would have been terrible. That I will put that. It's just crazy for the fact that I get it's the Fireball. I mean, I was on one of them before. Thankfully, it wasn't getting stuck on a safety harness, which, man, that was a pain. Thankfully, it wasn't a pain in the rear. And I just, but yeah, but still, in all seriousness aside, I will say, hopefully the people who are on that ride will hopefully be okay. And hopefully the people who are working on that ride needs to be checked on more often for the mechanical of the ride Fireball. That's what they have to, just to keep up to date, basically. It's that sucks. It really is. Yeah. It really does. Since we do have some time right here, right now, we'll go ahead and go over the weather report across the country. We'll go ahead and look at that right here, right now. All right, lower it down there, sucker. You better stop. Okay, good. Sorry about that. I just had to do that. Either way, for the weather today across the country, we look at the temperatures in the East Coast. We look at the low 80s, upper 80s, upper 70s, low close to mid 90s. Caribou 82, some showers along the way. Boston 89, Buffalo 77, New York 93, Washington 92, Norfolk at 92 as well. That's Washington, D.C. be more specific. Charlotte 94, Atlanta 91, Jacksonville 93, some showers. Tampa at 92, and Miami at 91. We look at the Midwest, temperatures from the 70s, upper 70s, upper 80s, low to mid to upper 90s. Salt Marie of 76 degrees. Detroit 79 with a chance of showers. 91 in Cincinnati. We look at Chicago at 76 with a chance of showers. St. Louis at 95. Memphis at 88. Also a chance of showers. New Orleans at 92. Also with a chance of showers as well. We look at the central, mid-central. We look at upper 60s, upper 70s, upper 90s, hundreds, low to mid 100s, upper hundreds. So far, International Falls going to be for today at 67. Minneapolis at 78 with a chance of showers. We also look at Minot at 74. Rapid City at 84. 96 is Kansas City with a chance of showers, and also same with Minot. Oklahoma City, 99. Dallas at 103. Houston, 99. Lubbock at 105. El Paso at 106. San Antonio, 105. And Brownsville, 97. And then we look at the West Coast over there. We have upper 70s, low upper 80s, low 90s, upper 60s for one of them. And then even at the upper 100s, low 110s. Seattle at 76. Cut Bank at 80. Billings at 87. I already mentioned Rapid City, 84. Salt Lake City, 99. Woo! Denver, 93. We know Boise at 93. Medford, 92. Excuse me. 88 at Reno. San Francisco, 66. Los Angeles, 90 degrees. Las Vegas, 109. And Phoenix at 111. For those temperatures that I mentioned, for Las Vegas, Phoenix, Lubbock, San Antonio, Dallas, El Paso, please stay cool inside. Like I mentioned this many times. Stay cool inside. If you're able to want to go outside, use some sunscreen, because you will get burnt badly. So go out there early, get what you wanted to get, like the store, everything else before it gets way hot outside, and stay indoors for the rest of the day. And that's basically the weather report for July 12th, 2023. And it's right now 5:39 right now. And with that, we'll go take a commercial break, though. When we come back, we'll look at the 47th anniversary of The Family Feud. And we'll do that right after this. Don't go anywhere.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon. Which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of a contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Mr. Cow.
Yes?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me, I bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good. Makes me feel nice.
See you around.
That's the way it should be. I like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world is smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist!
They do exist. Santa?
Santa. Anyway, welcome back, everybody, to DMS 3000 News Live. And once again, I am your host, Brandon Martin, once again. And now we take a look at the 47th anniversary of the Family Feud. Yeah, 47 years to this date. The Family Feud started this out. And I'll go ahead and read everything. That's what it says on there. We'll go right now. Family Feud is an American television game show created by Mark Goodson and Bill Todman. It features two families who compete to name the most popular answers to survey questions in order to win cash and prizes. The show has had 3 separate runs, the first of which started in 1976. Its original run from 1976 to 1985 aired on ABC and in syndication. With Richard Dawson as host, in 1988 the series was revived and aired on both CBS and in syndication, with Ray Combs hosting until 1994, with Dawson returning until that version ended in 1995. In 1999, the series was revived through its first run syndication with 4 different hosts. The late great Louis Anderson from 1999 to 2002, Richard Karn 2002 to 2006, John O'Hurley 2006-2010, and Steve Harvey, which is the current host of Family Feud from 2010 to right now. Studio announcers were introduced, the contestants, and read credits include Gene Wood, the late great Gene Wood, from 1976 to 1995, Burton Richardson from 1999 to 2010, Joey Fatone 2010-2015, and Reuben Irvin 2015 to right now. Within a year of its debut, the original version became the #1 game show in daytime television. However, as viewing habits changed, the ratings declined. Harvey becoming host in 2010 increased Nielsen's ratings significantly and eventually placed the program among the top 3 most popular syndicated television shows in the United States. Harvey also surpassed every previous host in tenure. Although Dawson hosted more episodes of the show, the program had produced multiple regional adaptations in over 50 international markets outside the United States. Reruns of episodes hosted by Steve Harvey air on Game Show Network, as well as in syndication, while reruns of earlier versions air on Buzzer. Aside from television shows, there have been also many home editions produced in board game, interactive film, and video game formats. The game features 2 competing families, each represented by 5 members, reduced to 4 contestants for the 1994-95 season, who compete to determine the answers to survey questions. The original version of the show began with the families being introduced, seated opposite each other as if posing the family portraits, after which the host interviewed them. While there is no minimum age to participate in Family Feud, producers recommend that contestants are 15 years of age or older due to the nature of some questions. Each round begins with a face-off question that serves as a toss-up between 2 opposing contestants. The host asks a survey question that was previously posed to a group of 100 people, such as, name the hour that you get up on Sunday mornings. A certain number of answers are concealed on the board, ranked by popularity of the survey's responses. Only answers said by at least 2 people can appear on the board. The first contestant to buzz in gives an answer. If it is the most popular, his/her family immediately wins the face-off. Otherwise, the opponent responds, and the family member providing the higher-ranked answer wins. Ties are broken in favor of the contestant who buzzes in first. If neither contestant's answer is on the board, the other 8 contestants have a chance to respond, one at a time from alternating sides, until the answer is revealed. The family that wins the face-off may choose to play the question or pass control to their opponents, except on the 1988-95 versions, when the family who won the face-off automatically gained control of the question. The family with control of the question then tries to win the round by guessing all of the remaining concealed answers, with each member giving one answer in sequence. Given an incorrect answer or failing to respond earns a strike. 3 strikes gives their opponents a chance to steal the points for the round by guessing any one of the remaining answers. Otherwise, the points are rewarded to the family that originally had control. From 1992 to 2003, the value of the stealing answer was credited to the stealing family. If the opponents are given the opportunity to steal the points, then only their team's captain is required to answer the question. For most of the series, this is done after the family confers with each other. The only exception was on the 1988 series, where each family member has polled for an answer, with the team captain having the option to either select one of the family's answers or give a different answer. Any remaining concealed answers on the board were not guessed, are then revealed. Answers are worth 1 point from every person in the 100-member survey who gave them. The winning family in each round scores the total points for all revealed answers to that question, including those given during the face-off, but excluding the one used to steal. The number of answers on the board decreases from round to round, and as the game progresses, certain rounds are played for double or triple point value. For most of the show's existence, the first team to reach or surpass a certain point total won the game. The most common goal has been 300 points, but there have been exceptions. When the original series first premiered, the goal was 200 points, and for its final year, it was increased to 400 points. From the debut of the original series until 1992, families were awarded $1 per point scored. From 1999 to 2003, the family with the highest point total after 4 rounds of play won the game, regardless of their score. The first 3 rounds were played as normal rounds. In the 4th rounds, the points values were tripled, but the families were only allowed 1 strike if they had control. In the rare instance that the family in control was trailing and could not accumulate enough points to potentially overtake the leaders before striking out, the game ended without the other family attempting to steal. On the first 2 series, a match continued until a family reaches the goal. The current series reinstated the 300-point goal in 2003, but kept the 4-round format. If neither family has reached 300 points or after four rounds, one more triple value question is played as a sudden death face-off. Only the top answer is displayed on the board, and the first contestant to buzz in with it wins the points and the game for their team. In the original periodic primetime specials, 3 games were played, with the first 2 using the $200 format. For the third game, only 1 question round was played, and with the winning 2 celebrity teams from the previous rounds playing. At the end of the main game, the winning family selects 2 members to play the show's bonus round, known as Fast Money. One contestant is on stage with the host, while the other is sequestered backstage with headphones so as not to hear or see the first portion of the round. The first contestant is asked 5 fire survey questions and has a set time limit in which to answer them, originally 15 seconds, extended to 20 in 1994. Time begins to run only after the first question is asked, and the first contestant may pass on a question and return it after all 5 have been asked, if time remains. After the first contestant has finished answering or run out of time, he or she is awarded a point for each person in the survey who gave the same response. Once these points are tallied, the board is cleared except for the total score, and the second contestant is then brought out to answer the same 5 questions. The same rules are followed, but the time limit is extended by 5 seconds, originally 20, then extended to 25. In addition, if the second contestant duplicates an answer given by the first, a buzzer sounds, and he or she must give another answer. The family is awarded $5 for each point If the two contestants reach a combined total of 200 points or more, the family wins a cash prize. The cash prize for winning Fast Money has varied. During the ABC and CBS incarnations of the show, the top prize was $5,000 and $10,000 in the syndication. In 2001, the prize was doubled to $20,000. In the original periodic primetime specials, each game was followed by a Fast Money round. The first two were each worth $5,000, and the final one was worth $10,000. When Family Feud premiered on ABC, network rules dictated how much a family could win. Once any family reached $25,000, they were retired as champions. The accompanying syndicated series that premiered in 1977 featured two new families each episode because of a then common television syndication practice known as bicycling, wherein individual stations sent an episode of a series they had already aired to another station, reducing the number of tapes a syndicator that had to send out, but also ensuring that stations did not air the same episode of the show the same day, nor were they assured of airing in a proper sequence. The CBS daytime and syndicated versions began airing in 1988, also featured returning champions who could appear for a maximum of 5 days. For a brief period of the 1994-95 season, which aired in syndication, sorry about that, there were no returning champions. For these episodes, two new families competed in this first half of each episode. The second half featured former champion families who appeared on the Family Feud between 1976 and 1985, with the winner of the first half of the show playing one of these families in the second half. In some cases from 1992 to 1995, the returning champions continued until they were defeated. From 1999 to 2002, two new families appeared on each episode. In 2002, returning champions again appeared with the same 5-day limit. In 2009, a new card was announced for a family who wins 5 games in a row. In June 1992, the CBS daytime edition of Feud expanded from 30 to 60 minutes and became known as the Family Feud Challenge. As part of the change, a new round was added at the start of each game called Bullseye. This round determined the potential fast money stake for each team. Each team was given a starting value for their bank and attempted to come up with the top answer to a survey question to add to it. The Bullseye round was added to the syndicated edition in September 1992, which remained 30 minutes and was retitled as the New Family Feud. The first two members of each family appeared at the face-off podium and were asked a question to which only the number one answer was available. Given the top answer, it added the value for that question to the family's bank. The process then repeated with the 4 remaining members from each family. On the first half of the daytime version, families were asked with $2,500. The first question was worth $500, and with each succeeding question and worth $500 more than the previous, with the final question worth $2,500. This allowed it for a potential maximum bank of $10,000. For the second half of the daytime version and also on the syndicated version, all values were doubled, making the maximum potential bank $20,000. The team that eventually won the game played for their bank in Fast Money. In 1994, with Richard Dawson returning as host, the round's name was changed to the Bankroll Round. Although the goal remained of giving only the number one answer, the format was modified into 3 questions from 5, with only one member of each family participating for all 3 questions. The initial stake for the family remained the same: $2,500 in the first half of the hour and $5,000 in the second. However, the value for each question was $500, $1,500, and $2,500 in the first half, with values doubling for the second half. This meant a potential maximum bank of $7,000 in the first half and $14,000 in the second. The Bullseye Round returned for the 2009-2010 season and was played similarly to the format used from 1992 to 1994 on the syndicated version. 5 questions were asked, worth from $1,000 to $5,000. However, each family was given a $15,000 starting stake, which meant a potential maximum of a $30,000 bank. When Harvey took over as host, the Fast Money jackpot reverted to a flat $20,000. When Family Feud was conceived in 1976, Richard Dawson, then a regular panelist on the Goodson-Todman game show Match Game, had a standing agreement with Mark Goodson that when the next Goodson-Todman game show was in the planning stages, Dawson would be given an audition to host it. Dawson had read in trade publications that a pilot for a new show named Family Feud was in the works. It was originally to be hosted by Star Trek actor William Shatner. Although since they were involved in the run-throughs, Jeff Edwards and Jack Nartz, the latter of whom reputedly was Goodson's initial choice to host, were under consideration. Incensed, Dawson sent his agent to Goodson to threaten to present an unfunny, silent, and bland persona on future Match Game episodes if he was not given an audition for Feud. Dawson was then selected as host of the original ABC and first syndicated versions of Family Feud. As writer David Mark put it, Dawson's on-air personality fell somewhere between the brainless sincerity of Wink Martindale and the raunchy cynicism of Chuck Barris. Dawson showed himself to have insistent affections for all the female members of each family that competed on the show, regardless of age, kissing them, and acted that attracted some controversy then among viewers. Writers Tim Brooks, Joel Elowitz, and Earl F. Marsh attributed Family Feud's popularity in Dawson's glib familiarity. He had previously played Newkirk on Hogan's Heroes and ready wit from his tenure as a panelist on Family Feud. The show's original announcer was Gene Wood, with Johnny Gilbert and Rod Roddy serving as occasional substitutes. In 1988, comedian Ray Combs took over Dawson's role as host on CBS and in syndication, with Wood returning as announcer and Roddy and Art James serving in that role when Wood was not available. Combs hosted the program until the daytime version's cancellation in 1993 and the syndicated version until the end of 1993-94 season. Dawson returned to the show at the request of Mark Goodson Productions for the 1994-95 season. When Feud returned to syndication in 1999, it was initially hosted by comedian the late great Louis Anderson, with Burton Richardson as the new announcer in 2002. Richard Karn was selected to take over for Anderson until he was replaced by John O'Hurley in 2006. In 2010, both O'Hurley and Richardson departed from the show. O'Hurley later stated that he left because he was resistant toward the show's decision to emphasize ribald humor and wanted to keep the show family friendly. Steve Harvey was later named the new host and began hosting on July 10th, 2010. Harvey has been hosting the show ever since. Announcements were made using a pre-recorded track of Joey Fatone's voice, which was used on the show until the end of 2014-2015 season. Reuben Irvin, who has been a member of the production staff as the warm-up man for the audience since Harvey took over, became the announcer at the start of 2015-2016 season and has retained the role since. In 2015, Harvey signed with ABC for the primetime reboot of Celebrity Family Feud, with Burton Richardson returning as announcer. Harvey has hosted Celebrity Family Feud since 2015, while Richardson has announced for Celebrity Family Feud since it began in 2008. Richardson was involved with the NBC version of Celebrity Family Feud in 2008 and has been announcing for the 2015 reboot since its inception. The first 4 versions of the show were directed by Paul Alter and produced by Howard Felsher and Kathy Dawson. For the 1988 versions, Gary Dawson worked with the show as the third producer, and Alter was joined by the 2 other directors, Mark Breslow and Andy Fleischer. The 1999 version's main staff include executive producer Gabrielle Johnson, co-executive producers Kristen Bjorklund, Brian Hawley, and Sarah Dansby, and director Ken Fuchs. Johnson and Bjorklund previously worked as associate producers in the 1980s version. The show classic theme tune was written by an uncredited Walt Levinsky for Score Productions. The theme and cues for the 1994-95 season was written by Ed Kalehoff and are based on the Walt Levinsky composition. The themes used from 1999 to 2008 were written by John Lewis Parker. The production rights to the show were originally owned by the production company Goodson, shared with his partner Bill Todman, but were sold to their current holder Fremantle when it acquired all of Goodson and Todman's format catalog in 2002. Mark Goodson created Family Feud during the increasing popularity of his earlier game show, Match Game, which had set daytime ratings records between 1973 and 1976, and on which Dawson appeared almost daily as one of its most popular panelists. Match Game aired on CBS, and by 1976, CBS Vice President Fred Silverman, who had originally commissioned Match Game, had moved to a new position as president of ABC. The show, along with a revised daytime schedule for the summer, was announced by ABC at an annual meeting in May. The show premiered on ABC's daytime lineup at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Central, which is Mountain or Pacific, on July 12, 1976. On this day, folks, because it faced the first halves of 2 long-running and popular soap operas, CBS As the World Turns and NBC's Days of Our Lives. Feud was not an immediate hit, but a time slot change several months later made a ratings winner for ABC and eventually surpassed Match Game to become the highest rated game show on daytime TV. Due to the expansion of All My Children to 1 hour in April 1977, the show was moved to 11:30, 10:30 a.m. as the second part of the hour that had daytime reruns of Happy Days, later Laverne and Shirley, as its lead-in. When the Dick Clark hosted $20,000 Pyramid was canceled in June 1980. Feud moved a half hour back to 12 noon, 11 a.m. It remained the most popular daytime game show until Merv Griffin's game show Wheel of Fortune, propelled by a new, highly popular concurrent syndicated evening version, surpassed it in 1984. From May 8th, 1978 until May 25th, 1984, ABC periodically broadcasted hour-long primetime all-star specials in which celebrity casts from various primetime series, mostly ABC ones, competed instead of Ordinary Families. The popularity of the program inspired Goodson to consider producing a nighttime edition, which launched in syndication of September 1997. September 19th, 1997. Excuse me. There we go. With Viacom Enterprises as distributor. Like many other game shows at the time, the Nighttime Feud aired once a week. It expanded to twice a week in January 1979. And finally to 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, in the fall of 1980. Representing the first time that a weekday network game ran concurrently with a highly syndicated edition. Dawson and Feud coasted for the several years at the top, seen twice a day in much of the country. However, the viewing habits of both daytime and syndicated audiences began changing around 1984, when Griffin launched real syndicated version starring Pat Sajak and Vanna White. In 1983, the show climbed the ratings to the point where it's still viewed as the highest-rated syndicated show, even replacing it on some stations. The syndicated premiere of Wheel's sister show, Jeopardy, with Alex Trebek as host, as to phone ratings from Feud when it's early and surprising given an unstable first few months. Success, with declining ratings probably due mainly to its overexposure and viewers subsequently tiring of the show. And as part of the scheduling reshuffle with 2 of ABC's half-hour soaps, the show moved back to the 11:30, 10:30 time slot in October 1984. As the second part of the 1-hour game show block, with Trivia Trap, later All-Star Blitz, as its lead-in, hoping to make a dent in the ratings of Price is Right. Coincidentally, another game show, another Goodson package game show. I can't even talk today. That blasted. It's all good. Despite the ratings decline, there was some interest in keeping the show in production. In a 2010 interview with the Archive of American Television, Dawson said that Viacom contacted him toward the end of 1984 to gauge his interest in continuing his role for the 1985-86 season. Although Dawson was still enjoying his work, he said that with the grueling taping schedule and having to record 2 separate daily editions of the Family Feud from 1980 onward, he had spent the equivalent of 11 years working on the show and was growing tired of the grind. He said that he was willing to finish whatever commitment he still had to ABC for the daytime series, then record 39 weeks of episodes of the syndicated series for the 1985-86 season and be done with it. As Dawson recalled, he did not hear from anyone for approximately 1 week. He then received a call that Viacom had made the decision not to renew the syndicated series beyond the 1984-85 season. Viacom made this official in 1985, ahead of the that year's NATPE convention, and within a few weeks, ABC, probably prompted by Viacom's decision, decided that it too would not renew Feud for the 1985-86 season. The daytime version came to an end on June 14, 1985. The following week was taped a month prior on May 16th. Newspapers via Associated Press reported that this version was slated to end on June 28th. However, for reasons undisclosed, it ended 2 weeks prior to that instead. The syndicated version aired its last episode on May 17, 1985, with reruns of the final season continuing until September of that year. Although first run's episodes were no longer airing, Viacom offered a best-of package of reruns to stations for the 1985-86 season. The package was withdrawn from syndication at the end of the season. Family Feud moved to CBS, with Ray Combs hosting the show on July 4th, 1988, at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, Mountain, and Pacific, replacing the $25,000 Pyramid, which had aired continuously in that time slot since September 1982. Except between January and April 1988, when Blackout took its place. CBS began development on Family Feud shortly after Blackout was canceled. Like its predecessor, this version also had an accompanying syndicated edition, which launched in September of that year, and like their respective both the network and the ratings. However, the landscape in both daytime and the first run syndication was changing significantly. During this time, networks were starting to move away from game shows in their daytime lineups. By the time the Feud revival launched in 1988, by the fall of 1991, only the daytime Feud and The Price is Right, both airing on CBS, were left standing. Feud, like some others before it was prone to being preempted by CBS stations, who wanted to air more profitable and successful syndicated offerings in the morning. The syndicated series, while initially receiving desirable time slots, such as the prime access slots it had previously enjoyed in some markets, began to lose ground as stations looked elsewhere for programming, such as to a tabloid news magazine like Hard Copy, which premiered 1 year after the Feud revival launched. The syndicated series found itself disappearing from some markets, while other markets saw the show relocated to a much less desirable hour, such as after midnight. With the ratings from both series at low points in 1992, producers of Feud instituted the format changes that were mentioned earlier to both the CBS and syndicated series. The daytime series was also expanded to an hour, renamed Family Feud Challenge, and saw two families compete in the first half of the hour for a chance to to face the returning champion family in the second half. The changes did not do enough for CBS, which announced that in the fall of 1993, it would return to the 10 o'clock a.m. hour to its affiliates. This move resulted in the cancellation of the daytime series, which ended on March 26, 1993. With reruns continuing until September 10th. Although the daytime series ceased production, the syndicated series did not, and its sixth season premiered in September 1993. However, the show's distributor, All American Television, was not happy with its performance in the ratings. The company met with the production staff of Feud and told them that the upcoming season would be their last as distributor unless significant changes were made to the production. Meanwhile, during the previous season, a shakeup that had occurred at Mark Goodson Productions. Goodson died of pancreatic cancer. His son Jonathan had taken over control of the production company and was now tasked with finding a solution to the ratings decline. One of the options considered was a host change, with original Feud host Richard Dawson's name being repeatedly mentioned as an option. Dawson had largely kept out of the spotlight since the original edition of Feud had left the air in 1985, which, with his only role of note being his turn as Damon Killian in the 1987 film The Running Man. In the intervening years, outside of the failed pilot for the revival of You Bet Your Life, Dawson had been living with his most recent wife, a former contestant on the series, and was raising a child with her. He did show some interest in returning, however, and began talking with Goodson about a return. The decision to attempt to bring back Dawson was a rehearsal from the decision made the revival was first proposed. Mark Goodson himself had steadfastly refused to consider Dawson for the hosting position, due in large part to his behavior and clashes with the production staff. When he hosted the original series, many of those same staff members were working on the current series, including Felsher, with whom Dawson's relationship was particularly acrimonious. The elder Goodson also showed significant loyalty toward Combs as host, sticking with him despite the show's struggles. In the end, despite Goodson's loyalty to Combs and the lingering bad feelings some staffers had toward Dawson, the two sides felt that saving the series was an ultimate goal. With that, Dawson signed on to come back to his former position. Combs was fired, and All American Television renewed the syndicated Feud for the following season. The sixth season had not finished taping when the announcement was made, so Combs was allowed to finish the season. When the show finished its last taping session, Combs abruptly signed off and left the stage, which was a departure from his usual routine of participating in the ratings family celebration. He gathered his belongings from his dressing room and departed from the studio in a hurry, not stopping to say goodbye to anyone. And we'll go ahead and stop right here for the 47th anniversary of the Family Feud. And it's right now, 6:24 right now, as we'll go ahead and take one more commercial break. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and wrap up with the do's and don'ts of hitting the multi-million-dollar jackpot. And we'll do that right after this. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Where do you think really chocolatey chocolate milk comes from? A chocolate cow? In a chocolate field? On a chocolate farm? Near a chocolate stream? Wrong. Really chocolatey chocolate milk comes from where you'd expect it to come from. Hershey, the chocolate people.
Chocolate milk people, too.
Carvel ice cream, Carvel ice cream. Call even big fish ice cream. Every day at Carvel's, America's freshest ice cream. Every way at Carvel's, fresh ice cream.
If you use an automatic toilet bowl cleaner that doesn't clean well enough or last long enough, it's like flushing your good money down the drain. Try my 2000 flushes. It has chlorine bleach, the same chemical used to keep swimming pools clean. It works the same way in your toilet bowl. And it works up to 4 months. It really does. With 2000 flushes, it's not your money that goes down the drain, it's the stains. So why buy anything else?
Something good is coming up. Gonna get the biscuit down. Good morning, biscuit pancakes. Coming up golden brown. Biscuit morning, watch it rise. Something good is coming up when you get the biscuit down.
And Bisquick is made with 100% vegetable shortening and has no preservatives.
Get the biscuit down. Is watching, Monk and Lewis. Dick Lewis is watching, Monk and Lewis. Watching the price, giving great advice. Watching the store to save you so much more. New Monk and Lewis, we always beat the competition. Dick Lewis is watching.
You gotta be kidding. What's in is out, what's out is in. So many trends make my poor head spin. Don't tell me good taste, I know I taste good. While the best thing though is so misunderstood. Just give me what the doctor ordered. Just what the doctor ordered. Just give me a Dr. Pepper, we want it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered. The taste is made to order, we love it. Whoa, just what the doctor ordered.
One reason why Duracell batteries last so long is because we never stop improving them. In fact, today's Duracell batteries will last up to 20% longer than the ones we made just 3 years ago. And we'll keep on improving them. Because on that score, we have a one-track mind. Duracell, the copper top battery. When it comes to making them last longer, we never stop.
What's in, Hunt? Funky chicken! Duck walk! Moonwalk! Disco! Windmill! Air guitar! James Brown! Jimmy plays Monterey!
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
The starting lineups are on the floor, and here comes Michael Jordan. Taking time out for breakfast at his regular place, McDonald's. Jordan finds the open man. He goes for two and takes possession of a delicious big breakfast and a hot Egg McMuffin. Jordan sets. He puts it up, and it's good. Jordan scrambles. He sinks it in again. Can he fit that Egg McMuffin in his game plan? Yes! Michael Jordan has carried it off.
There's still plenty of time on the clock.
Tough getting out of bed to face all the chores ahead. Till that aroma comes through when the Folgers starts to brew. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Folgers is mountain-grown coffee, and the rich aroma of mountain-grown beans makes Folgers one coffee made with the morning in mind.
Now things are feeling right. You see the morning in a whole new light. There's hard work to be done, another day yet to be won. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
And right, it's 6:30 right now. Welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. This is episode 21. And once again, I am your host, Brandon Martin. And right now, we'll go ahead and wrap up with this last one with the do's and don'ts of hitting the multi-million-dollar jackpot. And this comes from yesterday of Dunmore, Lackawanna County. Many in NEPA are taking a chance at the big jackpots. But what would you do if you actually won? Financial experts say there are definite do's and don'ts if you're lucky enough to win the whole thing. And big decisions have to be made the minute you realize you have a winning ticket. The drawing for the $500 million Mega Millions jackpot happened Tuesday, and the $725 million Powerball drawing happens, which is today. As many hope for a winning ticket, it's important to remember the responsibility that comes with all this money. With millions of dollars up for grabs, lottery players all over pay a few dollars hoping to turn it into a fortune. The higher the numbers are going to get, the more people are going to play. No doubt about it, said William Ellard, management at Ricardo's. I play them pretty frequently. Just a small, slightest chance of winning big gets me, Scranton resident Shayna Miller said. I play them pretty frequently. Oh, I just read that. Dad blasted. Can't even talk today. Dad thinking bad. But anyway. But what many players don't expect is the life-changing choices that come with a winning ticket, starting with what to do when you realize you're a multimillionaire. Professionals first recommend taking a picture of the winning ticket and keeping it in a safe place. The hardest part may be keeping it a secret. What you should not do is yell it from the rooftops. You should keep mum. Mum is the word, said President of L&M Wealth Advisors Lou Ingargiola. Before telling family or friends, it is important to get a team together and make a game plan. Only tell your closest confidants, meaning your attorney, your financial advisor, and your accountant, Ingargiola explained. A mistake many make after getting such a large sum of money is blowing it. One way to avoid this, setting up a trust or foundation so the money can benefit people long after you can no longer spend it. We're not going to live forever, but your foundation may live forever. And this kind of money, hundreds of millions of dollars may be able to do that. To fund generations, fund charities. Ingargiola continued. I do have children, and if this blessing does fall into my lap, I would want it to trickle down and to all of their family members as well. So I would definitely hire an accountant, a lawyer, everything just to secure and make sure they have it for generations and generations, Miller said. And even if you don't become a mega millionaire now, there's always another drawing. You have something to look forward to get your numbers, and hope to gosh you're one of the lucky ones. If not, play again, Ellard said. Yeah, basically, if you do win that jackpot, though, please don't tell everybody that. Say it up from the Raptors and everything else. They would know about it right away. Suggestion is to basically keep a secret and just say your close relatives and all that, and like your mom and father, if they're still alive. And basically, that's the thing. If you do win that jackpot, and yeah, that's basically it. This one's a little bit of a short one, but that's all good and dandy. And basically, that will do it for DMS 3000 News Live for Wednesday, July the 12th, 2023. And if you have news, like if you have something that you want us to talk about it, just feel free to DM us, and just feel free to DM us with the news that you want us to talk about, and we'll go ahead and do that. Like basically, you can message me or DM Jason DeCanio in general, and we will have that news that you put in the DM be talked about on the DMS 3000 News Live. Well, basically, coming up in another 24 minutes, we will be handing over the reins to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson and Snowman to see what they're going to be talking about in the world of sports, including the All-Star Game. Then, later on, we will be having another episode of Super Password. And along with that, the Brian Snow Show. And along with Cole Sports. And finally, wrapping up is the Jay's Retro Toys and Games. And if there is more, we will let you know, and many more programming to come from the David 3000 Network. But with that, right now, I am Brandon Martin, saying thank you very much for watching, and we will see you for another episode of DMS 3000 News Live. With that being said, have a great rest of your morning, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David Dyson Network for great more content like this one.